My name is Jacqueline Ding, and today I will be presenting our recently published paper titled Participation Experiences of Young People with Cerebral Palsy in Key Life Situations, a Qualitative Study. This study has been a team effort, and I would like to acknowledge the contributions of my co-authors, Professor Prue Morgan and Dr. Stacey Cleary. I would also like to acknowledge the expert advisors at CP Achieve for their time and contributions. The variable array of functional limitations a person with CP has contributes to the unique experiences one faces with navigating the responsibilities and challenges that comes with emerging adulthood. Research has traditionally focused on the childhood years, and less is known about the health and social changes associated with the transition into adulthood for young people with CP. As a result, there is currently relatively little research in the Australian context that explores this area. The aim of this qualitative study was to explore the experiences of adolescents and young adults with CP as they participate in daily life. A secondary aim was to explore the impact of a newly established national government-funded disability insurance scheme, the NDIS, on daily activity participation. The NDIS is a social reform in Australia established to provide support and services to individuals with permanent and significant disabilities, including those with cerebral palsy. It aims to empower people with disabilities by giving them greater choice and control over the disability services and supports they receive. Rolled out gradually since 2013, the NDIS is funded by the Australian Government and is designed to promote independence, inclusion, and improve participation outcomes across various aspects of life. On this slide is a selection of some life domains that are of interest in this study. Participants were given the opportunity to self-select domains they wish to talk about in their interview that resonated with them and their experiences the most. To ensure the interview questions were appropriate and easily understandable, the interview guide was piloted with 3 members of CP Unite, a self-named advisory group of young adults with CP working as co-researcher advisors at CP Achieve. Participants were eligible for inclusion if they have a diagnosis of CP between 16 and 30 years of age, lives in Australia, and have a good level of English to take part in a spoken or written interview. Participants were recruited via a flyer, and interested participants were contacted and an interview time was then organised. The interviews were transcribed verbatim and emailed to participants for member checking before analysis. All of the interview data was analysed using an inductive thematic analysis approach in NVivo 12. CP Unite advisors were involved in the data synthesis process to ensure the correct interpretation of the data. Those suggestions were then incorporated into the sense-making of the results. 16 young people with CP participated in interviews between February and July of 2022. 1 interview took place via an email exchange. 11 participants were female and 5 were male, majority in their mid-20s, and resided across 4 states of Australia, with the most of them from the state of New South Wales. Data saturation was reached by interview 14, and purposive recruitment strategies were used to recruit 2 more young people with CP between the ages of 16 and 20 to ensure the adolescent viewpoint was adequately explored. The overarching theme of branching out into adulthood encapsulated the broad and varied hopes, plans, and experiences of participation for young people with CP as they journey through adulthood. One participant summarized this perfectly by saying, "One of the exciting things about getting older is you begin to feel more comfortable in your own skin, finding the motivation in my disability and growing into the person I was always meant to be." Under this overarching concept, 4 key themes were identified, which I'll go into shortly. Of note, the participant experiences of the NDIS are embedded within the relevant theme. Feeling confident in their identity as a person with CP was described as a work in progress. Majority of participants expressed concern about how they would be received and perceived by others, which impacted their participation experiences in both personal and professional aspects of their lives. Participants with greater functional independence, so those who classified as GMFCS levels 1 or 2, explained that their decision for not applying for NDIS funding was grounded on the feelings of not being disabled enough and feelings of guilt for potentially taking away resources from someone who might need it more. Many participants revealed that they had spent most of their lives trying to fit in and be a part of a society that have often been hostile and unaccommodating. Within their daily encounters, they were subject to unfair treatment, discriminatory attitudes, and judgment from various community members. These interactions were upsetting, were often traumatic, and confidence and sense of self were significantly impacted by these accumulated experiences. Many participants found it challenging to make new and meaningful connections with others as adults, in both a social and romantic capacity. Their introverted personalities and getting others to see them for more than just their disability made it hard for them to make new friends. For those who were open to being in a romantic relationship, they reflected that perhaps they needed to make a bit more effort, give dating apps a try if they wanted to increase their chances of going on a date and meeting a romantic partner. During the prolonged lockdown period in Australia during COVID, to reduce the risk of exposure to the virus, many participants reported that they stopped their hobbies and reduced their social interactions with their peers. Despite all the disruption and uncertainty, participants who studied at university during this time reported a positive influence on their learning and engagement. They explained that because lectures and tutorials had moved online, it mitigated the time spent on their uni commute, which created more time and energy to be directed at other aspects of their daily lives. In summary, the transition into adulthood for young people with CP is a time of exploration, change, and growth. However, these young people can, and they do successfully negotiate the many challenges that comes with being an adult. For those seeking to support people with CP to improve social outcomes, it is imperative that the emerging needs of the individual with CP is placed at the forefront of every interaction. This is because not all individuals with CP have the same wants and needs. Open and honest conversations, the provision of appropriate and timely support is required in order to meet the needs of adults with CP, aging with a lifelong disability, and to maximize their participation as they navigate through their unique journey of adulthood transition. Thank you for listening.